You get on your knees and you call down fire from heaven from your God, and I'll call down fire from heaven from Allah, and we'll see whose God is God. Well, my pastor and young life leader never taught me how to do that. And so at 18 years of age, I walked away and I learned two things. That one, that Muslims had good reasons why Christianity was false, and I need to be ready for that. And the second thing was that, that he wanted the power of God, the fire of God, to rain down from heaven and show up in my life. And I walked away from that experience. The Holy Spirit spoke to my heart and said, son, I'm calling you to study everything you can about Islam and train up the global church to evangelize the Muslim world in one generation.
Wow.
And so that's why I'm doing what I'm doing.
So help those that will be watching this video and those that are watching, just what can we do to reach Muslims with the gospel? You guys are on the forefront of this, but what's a couple things that the church needs to know to effectively get the gospel to Muslim people?
Well, there's about 3 or 4 things that are really critical. First is to understand what the challenge is. That there are 1.6 billion Muslims globally, and there are 900 million born-again, evangelical or Pentecostal believers, charismatics across the world. That means at present there's 2 Muslims for every born-again Christian.
Wow.
Which means that...
I've never heard that before.
I know. 86% of them surveyed globally say that they don't actually know a Christian. And with all the Muslims that have actually come to Christ, which is 4.2 million over the last, let's say, 20 years or so, that's 0.002 of 1%. That the church, if 86% of Muslims don't actually know a Christian, and even if there are dreams and visions and all kinds of things God's doing, Jesus said, you go reach them. And so globally, at present, all of us are responsible for 2. And we need to make sure of the 5 million churches globally that all of them have been mobilized, trained, and energized to be able to target and evangelize every Muslim in every language. Everybody everywhere thinks that Muslim ministry in the 44 countries I've gone to, the denominations I've worked with, thinks that Muslim ministry is somebody else's calling. It's not. And the big revelation is this, that with the God's team, the 900 million, we need to work together to make sure that all of us have reached our 2. Because if you or any of us don't reach our 2, we've got to pick up the extra ones.
Sure.
Which means that it isn't that we don't have time to figure this out because we're all busy and doing work and stuff. It's the Muslims don't have time for us to figure this out. The biggest problem in the world is not radical Islam. It is nominal Christianity. That's the biggest problem. The answer to global Islam is a discipled and trained church that loves Jesus. We don't reach Muslims because we don't love God. He told us to reach them, and we're not. And so the challenge prophetically for the church and biblically, theologically, is to complete and fulfill that mission.